thank you all for still being here at 4:30. It does say that we will have you away by 5 o'clock, and I promise to finish this summing up in under 28 minutes to deliver on our commitments. So my thoughts of the day, I thought this morning was very much, it felt like top trumps on curves. You know, Manchester opened the bidding with 30-metre radius. Vienna trumped them with 2% less than 20-metre radius. London obviously couldn't compete, so changed the game completely and said they've got so many curves that in London a 1,000-metre radius curve is actually called straight line. So I think we had a lot of discussion about noise and vibrations from trains, and I think that is particularly important in an urban environment, even more so than on the classic network. The importance of identifying and dealing with wheel flats very early was picked up, and the ability to retrofit sleepers with under-sleeper pads to solve noise and vibration problems was highlighted. It was really pleasing for me to see data-driven, risk-based decision-making highlighted as well. I think it's something that the railway is still learning how to do that, and I was really, really pleased to see the presentation on that. I think it was highlighted the importance to passengers of trams and trains working together in the tram train project. I think the challenges of seamlessly switching from being a tram to being a train was a great presentation. And I think we sort of understood just how many firsts had to be dealt with in that project. But I think having now proved the tram train principles, we now need to value engineer them so that we reduce the cost of the next one, which I think is going to be in Wales. So, there's an awful lot of learning, and I think it'll be great to see that in Wales soon. Talking of Wales, it was a great summary of what's going on in Wales. I've got to say, I didn't really understand what was going on, so it was a really, really helpful summary. And really, really pleased to see the use of battery-powered trains is being used to alleviate the need to lift 55 bridges, which is going to be an incredible cost saving when you're expanding the network and electrifying the network. So pleased to see that. The importance of whole life cost analysis and how to explain it to funders. I think this is one of our real challenges, particularly with under-sleeper pads. Generally, most of us in this room, because I guess most of us are engineers, we all get the importance of under-sleeper pads. But increasingly our funders, as we look at more diverse funding arrangements, our funders are interested in least installed cost, because they aren't going to be responsible for the maintenance, they aren't going to be responsible for the asset life, they aren't going to be responsible for the renewals cost down the line. All they're interested in is having an output at least cost. And then under-sleeper pads tend to get sort of value engineered out at a point. And I think it's a challenge for us as an industry as to how do we deal with that. I'm sure under-sleeper pads aren't the only example where least first cost trumps whole life cost. It was interesting to see the discussion on railway and on track defects such as squats and rolling contact fatigue. And I think it was really interesting the importance of driver behaviour on the rail wheel interface, which I'd never really appreciated before. That you plan that a driver's going to go at a particular speed, and then they actually drive differently to how you expect, and then that affects the wear on the rail and the damage to the track. London Underground are looking forward to getting rid of all of its bullhead rail. I think, aren't we all? I think I'd say to that one. But I think the challenge for us when we're getting rid of bullhead rail is actually salvaging the fittings, because we've still got an awful lot left, whether it's on London Underground's network or Network Rail's network. We are still going to have an awful lot, and I think we need to be careful that we don't just burn everything up and chuck it out, and that as every job we salvage what we can to keep the rest going, because we're going to have to keep it going for a while yet. The track forms for metro systems generated as much discussion as we had on the track forms for high-speed railways 2 years ago. So it's good to see that track form and the debates and the views are alive and well on that. I think the other thing that came out is just how many metro systems there are around the world, and there are lots of consultancy opportunities, and Milan Metro are obviously grasping that opportunity. So an interesting start was 15 years, Milan has increased mass transit coverage from 1/3 to 3/4, which is a huge growth. And really pleased to see how the important role that railways have in urban regeneration. And I think the Northern Line presentation at the end highlighted or just reinforced the point of the link between investment in railway systems and urban regeneration. Some incredible civil engineering going on in central London. I think we said 50 metres deep and 1.2 metre diameter piles to support everything. And so a long time before we ever get to the railway systems, there's some incredible civil engineering going on. My favourite phrase of the day was the importance of brilliant basics, which Jen, I think, was your phrase. I thought it was a great phrase. I will shamelessly steal that one. And I think brilliant basics highlights the importance of learned societies such as the UEEIV and the PWI to share knowledge and best practice in groups such as this. Having now had 2 successful events together, I hope to see everybody in 2 years' time when hopefully we'll have our 3rd joint event. I think it's been a hugely successful day. I'd like to thank the UEEIV for their support in pulling together today's event. So thank you to all our European cousins for their help. I'd like to thank the sponsors, the exhibitors and the speakers, without whom we wouldn't be able to put on events like this. I'd like to thank you all for being here today, for surviving to the end, and for your active participation throughout the day. You should receive an email by the end of October, which will have all the links to today's presentations. The next technical seminars for the PWI are on the 25th of October at the London Transport Museum, the 16th of November at Stratford in London. So it's been a really good day. For somebody that doesn't have an awful lot to do with urban railways, I've found the day fascinating and I've learned such a lot. So that concludes things. Can you please leave your badges outside? We are, as part of our sustainability, we do like to recycle them. And please have a safe journey home. Thank you.